I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
I think that I am familiar with the fact that you are going to ignore this particular problem until it swims up and bites you on the ass.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, mother.
La 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 la. I am not listening to Jeffrey, but he's still talking.
It stinks.
Hey, so what's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the Jeffman316 Pop Culture Reporter channel. Looks like we got a couple people there. Can you guys let me know if you can hear me? I can check it. I haven't done this in a while, so I apologize. Yeah, it looks like based on my phone, it's working. So let's see. Ken Pope is here. He said, let's go. So hopefully you can hear me. And then that was my comment that I put. So yeah, hopefully we got a couple people. I'll wait a few minutes, see if we get anybody in there. Hey, there's Cloud Wish. He says it's good. There's a couple reasons I wanted to get on here tonight. Number one, I got a couple of little announcements that I wanted to make. And number two, I've got a topic of a video that I wanted to make. And as you guys saw maybe in the community post, it was the best horror remakes. And I thought it was going to be really simple to do. And then when I started my list, I got about 10 or 12 on it, and I can't decide what my top 5 is. So I thought maybe if anybody shows up here, they could give me an idea of what their top 5 would be. And then I might use that to help formulate or narrow down my choices. But either way, the number one thing I was going to talk to everybody about is, if you could see, my channel used to be named Jeffman316 Customs, and I use that as my intro when I speak and when I do my recordings. But I had been toying around with the idea of changing it, and then I was inside of somebody's live stream last night. I participated, Mr. Stargill's Fig Review, and we've kind of started chatting some during his live streams. And one of the things that he was reminding me of was that a lot of people want to make sure that what they actually have as their channel brand is what they do. And so I'll let you guys know, a little over a year ago when I started this channel, I used to do toys more than movies. And so during the toy side, I used to make a lot of custom action figures. And so that's where I had a Facebook page, and I had some stuff online that I branded to do the my custom action figures. And since then, I still make those every once in a while. Mostly if I've got some people who commissioned me to make them. But I wanted to see where this channel organically went. And because of my love for movies, it looks like over the last 3 to 4 months, it's basically all, other than a random toy hunt, it's basically all related to movies. So what we got now is a lot of content with movie hunts, and where we talk movies, and then hopefully I'll start doing more reviews. So I went ahead and took that and got rid of the custom. So I went ahead and rebranded it just Jeffman316 Pop Culture Reporter. And so part of that little intro you saw on this live stream, I'm going to chop it down, and that'll be the intro to a lot of my videos moving forward. So hopefully you guys like that. I thought it was fun. I will say this, that now that I'm not saying I'm established, so don't go crazy, but now that I've got a few, like a year under my belt, I don't have to fight copyright claims as much as I used to, because one of the things you'll find if you start doing YouTube content is when you do trailer reactions or you use clips inside of your video, a lot of the companies, what they do is they hit you immediately with copyright claims. Usually Universal Pictures. Anytime I did like the Forever Purge, or I used a clip from one of the like Halloween 2, or anything like that, they would always within 10 minutes hit me with a copyright claim. Then I would always have to go through the process of disputing it and tell them that I'm a YouTube content creator and that I want it to use it, the fair use, so I could do commentary on it, or I could do it for a review. And so I started winning all those. And then I will say this with my fingers crossed. And I haven't had a copyright claim hit me in the last 2 months. So maybe that once I got the 1,000 subscribers, they went ahead and went along with that. But I thought before we actually got into the topic, one of the other cool things is I've watched both of the main release movies that I bought this week. If you watch the movie hunt, the two main movies that I bought were The Batman, and I bought this Steelbook from Best Buy. And I watched it in 4K, and it looked really good. And then I watched the movie X. Hey, Ken, have you seen the movie X or Cloud Wish there? Have you got either one of you guys seen X? This is one of those split reactions, man. It's like people either love it or hate it. I've never seen anybody that's in the middle. Like they either say that it's one of the best horror movies or releases of the year, and it is from our friends A24 there. They've got a lot of my favorite movies. I like Hereditary. I like Midsommar, and this one I love. And then obviously the Batman. Cloud Wish there, and I've discussed this a little bit because I know him personally, but I'm going to go on record and say that I liked it, but this movie is way too long. I mean, it's Ken says not yet. Yeah, you should check out X and then let me know what you think, because I really love it, but I know it's pretty polarizing. A lot of people say they don't like it. But with that being said, the Batman, I know a lot of people say that this is the greatest Batman movie now that it's come out, and I'm going to say two things that I think might be a little controversial. Number one, I don't think it's my favorite Batman. I think maybe because of the nostalgia aspect, my favorite Batman is still Michael Keaton. It was dark. It was the first time Batman had ever been on, at the big screen like that. I know they released that 1960 whatever movie in theaters, but I just thought it was pretty epic. It's nothing had been done that way, and just me, nostalgia, waiting in line for it, being there as it happened, a child of the 70s and 80s. I think that's one of the reasons that Batman 89 will probably be my favorite Batman. And then I will say this, that I think I even like Ben Affleck's Batman a little bit better than this one as well. I thought that I didn't think I would like it because I think I've told a lot of people that I thought Ben Affleck was going to be trash. I didn't think he was going to be a good Batman at all. And turned out, I like his Bruce Wayne. And then I think that Batman in Batman versus Superman, the warehouse fight scene is one of the greatest fight scenes in superhero action movie history. So if anybody has seen that movie, I think you'll probably agree that's the best scene from that movie. Totally. Yeah, Cloud Wish says he hasn't seen X either. I'll say this: if you don't know what the premise of X is, this group, it's in the 70s. I think maybe 1973. This group of young people and the guy, I think he runs basically a strip club, decide they're going to make an adult film, and so they go to a farmhouse, and while they're there, they don't tell the owner of the farm what they're doing, and they decide they're going to start filming their adult film there. And then what happens about 30 minutes into it, something weird is going on with the farmer and his wife, and all hell busts loose, and it turns into a full-blown horror movie, if you can tell by the back cover there. That's Jenna Ortega. She starred in the new updated version of Scream, and she was in Babysitter 2, whatever the tagline of that, I forget what it was called, but The Babysitter and The Babysitter 2 are good movies on Netflix, but those are highly recommended. And then I know that a lot of people might watch this after the fact, so I got someone I wanted to mention. Hold on a second, make sure. Doug, if you're watching or you watch this afterwards, I want to thank you for the trade. Here's two movies that I picked up. If you know, I do Dollar Tree movie hunts. I also have some friends and some Dollar Tree groups on Facebook, and we do a lot of trading and or just buy movies from each other. Basically, at cost. I did a trade with him. I got The Beach House, which is a really good Shudder movie. If you haven't seen that, it's got a slipcover. if you ever watch my videos, you know I always complain, why put a slipcover on there if it's going to be the same as the movie? But either way, this is a good movie. I don't know if this is on Blu-ray or not, but either way. And then I got Blackwater Abyss, which is basically a crocodile or alligator, whatever you want to call it, a horror movie. So I've seen it. It's good, but I didn't own either one of these. So we did a trade. So appreciate it, brother, for you getting me those. And then I've got another friend who recommended the movie to me, and I wanted to see if anybody on here who watches this now or later has seen it. It's a movie called Locke. I think that's how you pronounce it, with Tom Hardy. Has anybody, have any of you guys seen this? It's an A24 movie, and I was discussing A24 movies with a group, and one of them was, we were talking about X, and I told them that my top 3 are probably X as far as A24 movies, and then Hereditary, and then also maybe Midsommar. But they recommended this, and this was their top movie from A24, was Locke with Tom Hardy. And from what I understand, this is one of those almost one-man shows where he's in a car for almost the entire movie. And I don't know. I'm kind of old school and Big Hammer horror fan, says Ken. Yeah, I like those too, but I'm more of a throwback to the 80s slasher, because that's the era I grew up in. I grew up watching Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, all those. So those are the kind of the ones I like. And X is kind of an homage to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, but since you say you're old school, Ken, do you watch a lot of the remakes, horror remakes? Because I'll go ahead and tell you some of the ones that I've been toying around with as far as this topic is, I've got put down like about 10 or 15, and I'll read them to you. And I can't decide. I think I know which one is going to be number 1, but the ones I listed were The Thing. That's John Carpenter's The Thing, because that's a remake of a movie from the, was it the 50s or 60s? The Thing from Another World. Had James Arness, the guy who played Matt Dillon on Gunsmoke, as the creature. Obviously, they remade the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the 2000s. And I thought that was really good, because one of the things I want to do is I don't want to just pick movies where they just 100% remake it verbatim, exact, changing very little, just update it a little bit. I want to think of remake horror movies, to me, are really good when they take the original concept, and they flip it on its end, or do something different, or make a major change to the plot. And I'll give you an example. One of the ones I put on here was The Invisible Man. So obviously, in the original, it's totally different than in the remake they did, because in the remake, the person who becomes invisible, it's his wife that the movie kind of centers around, and he's a bad guy and he's coming after her. So it's a straight up horror movie that they totally changed the plot of the original. So that's my line of thinking. Like, what horror movie remakes did they take it and go in a totally opposite direction, or just flip it and do something totally unique with it? So another one you could think of is maybe The Fly, because The Fly, you had the movie obviously from the 50s, and then they actually remade it with Jeff Goldblum, obviously. So, and that was really unique as far as the Cronenberg style of that, and then everything that went on during that. But like ones I'm not going to include, even though a lot of people probably would, as far as best horror remakes, I'm not going to include Halloween from Rob Zombie or Friday the 13th. Number 1, Halloween, other than adding all that white trash at the beginning of it, it didn't do enough to change it. It was basically almost just new actors in the exact same plot. It's good. Michael Myers is a little more brutal in it, but as far as everything else about the movie, it's just basically rinse, cycle, repeat of the original. And then the remake of Friday the 13th was basically, let's take 1, 2, 3, and 4 and then mash them all together. So they got plot points from all of those in there. So my top 5 horror movies it's never going to include Friday the 13th or Halloween. or that god awful piece of trash Nightmare on Elm Street movie that they remade. So those are 3 that are not going to be on there for sure. I've got notes to myself to not put those on there, but I'll give you some examples of other ones that I'm toying around with. Child's Play. So like they remade Child's Play and they tried to change it, but did they change it enough, and did they improve upon it, or at least make it their own? Maybe remake is the wrong word in the classic sense. Yeah, it's more like a reimagining is of what they is what they're trying to do now. I'll give you an example of what I think definitely one is going to be in my top 5. The Evil Dead. So have either one of you guys seen the Evil Dead, the extended cut, or the regular one? The extended cut to me is a lot better, but to me, that way they took the original concept and they changed it to where the main character is now a female. They put them in the cabin, but a lot of the stuff that goes on there is totally different. What happened to them and what happens to her at the end is totally different than what happens to Ash Williams in the original Evil Dead or any of the remakes. They don't do any other than the cabin in the book. Everything else is kind of turned on its head. And I just really think that they did an awesome job of changing the concept of what was the Evil Dead was all about, like using that and then expanding on it. So yeah, I know I'm calling it remakes, but it's more like reimagining, because just a full-blown remake, like I said, of Friday the 13th and Halloween is probably not the way to go. But along the lines of like The Invisible Man or Evil Dead, or like I said, The Thing, that's the way I would want to go with it. Another one would be another good one that I've got on my list is Dawn of the Dead. When they did the remake of that, I know everybody was like, what in the world are you doing remaking that? You know, the original one's such a classic, with them in the mall. And even though they took the same concept and put them in a mall, everything that happens to the characters, the types of characters that are in there, they updated it to be more modern. You obviously have you've got one of them as a pregnant lady in there. There's really no romance going into the story as far as the main 2 characters in the original were already had an established romance. I think she was pregnant by him. You found out at the end, but they totally flipped that and made it and flipped the script on that and made it to where she kind of the main lead kind of fell in love with one of the characters that they met in the mall. And then they didn't do the whole thing about having a motorcycle gang come into the mall and destroy it and, destroy what they had built up. So I really like Dawn of the Dead. And I don't know, does most people know that they remade Night of the Living Dead? Tom Savini directed it. And I actually think it's a pretty good update, other than the main character, the way she acts, they didn't really change enough. It's literally almost the same all the way up until the very end, but it's a really good update. And with all the makeup effects of Tom Savini, I think he did a really good job. But they remade Poltergeist, they remade The Fog, they remade Wicker Man, they remade The Omen. And another one I got myself a note in just to mention during this is, if you haven't seen it, don't waste your time seeing it. Psycho. I don't know if anybody watched the remake of Psycho, and that was a total remake slash. They just filmed every scene. The dialogue was identical. Every scene was identical. They didn't change anything other than, it's obviously updated actors and whatever portraying it. That's got to be one of the worst horror remakes ever. So between that, it's a toss up between that and Nightmare on Elm Street. So I don't know if any of you guys are watching can think of any more. That was the ones I've come up with so far. I think I've got my top 7 or 8. But if somebody asked me what, the top 5 remakes or reimagining of horror movies, what they would be, I didn't think it would be that difficult for me to kind of decide that, but it actually is. So I don't know. I'm leaning towards Evil Dead's got to be in the top 2 or 3. I love it. It was really impactful when I saw it in the theater. It was one of those where it was hard to forget, especially with some of the violent content they've got in there. I mean, they upgraded everything to this, the story, the special effects, because the first one, The Evil Dead, to me is kind of cheesy as far as the effects. It's almost like a horror comedy. The effects are so bad in it. I know they did it on a shoestring budget. It was a very limited budget. I did have one other thing. If you guys, hey, what's up, Mr. Stargell? Hey, I mentioned you earlier in the video. I just want to let you know, I'd already been toying around with the idea that you brought up during your live stream last night. I've been doing these videos, mostly movies here lately, for the last a little over a year. And like I told you in there, it started with custom action figures. And I'd actually sat down last weekend and tried to think, did I want to rebrand the channel to be more along the lines of what I was talking about most of the time, and that happens to be movies. So I wanted this channel to kind of organically go in one of two directions. I like toys and I like movies. And so over the last 6 months to a year, it's sort of swayed more 70-30 to where it was mostly me talking about movies. And then now that I'm doing my movie hunts, and that's what gets most of my views, I had actually decided that I wanted to drop the custom. So looks like you and I were already on the same wavelength with that. So I went ahead and just rebranded it Jeffman316 Pop Culture Reporter. So I got rid of the customs, and so hopefully moving forward, I'll probably focus mostly on movies, but I'm gonna throw some toy reviews in there because I still like a lot of toys related to movies, whether it be the Marvel movies or NECA. I love NECA figures. So I don't know if you're still on here, Mr. Starter. Do you collect NECA figures? I don't ever really see you pick up any of those. I know you were getting the gargoyles, but I didn't know whether if you were picking up anything other than that. I love, like, if you look at my channel, one of my favorite figures from the past year is the Friday the 13th Part 7 Jason figure. That's a really good NECA figure as far as the accessories, everything about it. They just did an awesome job on that. I haven't bought any of the gargoyle figures myself. I figured that was a rabbit hole. I didn't know if I wanted to go down or not. I'm surprised how many action figures I see at the store where the person has changed parts and then returned it with the different parts they didn't want. Yeah, you know, I was telling somebody here locally that happened to me. It's a couple times when I first started doing toy hunts, but I haven't seen it lately. But another thing, Mr. Stargell there, he says, yeah, brought up in his live stream, and I know he's been talking about it a couple times, is we really do. I've got the same fear that he does, that you're going to start having people swap out. Let me block this user here. Once I do live streams more, maybe I'll make one of you guys mine. Jesus. Look at that. So people are going to start, because they're not putting the what do you call it, the plastic in the front anymore, the clear plastic. They're going to basically have a seal box. I got a feeling people are going to steal figures, and then they're going to pull the tape back, and then they're going to return the figure to the store. And then if somebody unsuspecting like me, you, Mr. Stargell, whoever, we end up getting in that store and buying that figure, you're going to get it home, you're going to open it, and it's going to be a totally different figure than what you thought you were purchasing. So I know they're trying to save the environment, but I think it's going to end up causing more hassles to begin with, and I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't regret that later down the line. Trolls, bro. Yeah. But either way, so I really do hope the NECA figures never go that route. I like the fact you pay more for those figures. I mean, some of those figures are $35 now. You actually get it to where it opens like a book, and then you can see the figure inside of there. So that way you get it closed and open. You can display it either way. If you don't want to open it and display it loose, you can at least open it and have it where people can see the figure that's in there. So I've got some hanging up on a shelf downstairs to where I've got it open almost like a book. So if you walk by one side, you can see the front of it, And if you walk on the other side, you can see the figure. And then I put some light strips on the top of it so you can display it that way. But hey, Mr. Starjo, I don't know if you like horror movies, but one of the things I'm trying to do is I'm going to try to make a video where it's my top 5 horror remakes or reimagined movies. I love this Evil Dead movie. I'm looking for some ideas because I never thought it would be that hard to decide like what the top 5 are, because I've named a bunch of them here before you got here. You know, they remade Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, Friday the 13th, The Fly, Dawn of the Dead, Child's Play, Poltergeist, The Fog, Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead. Ken says still can't find Elvira. Yeah, I mean, I think you saw when you commented on that video I did, not only did I find Elvira, but I found the signature series Elvira at the same time. Not me. I'm going to open that guy in the store before I purchase it. Really? You're going to really do that? I thought about it. Carry a little pocket knife with you. Hopefully they'll have it to where you can cut one little piece of tape on there. But you do mostly loose figures anyway, right? But what happens if you're a mint on the card collector? What's going to happen there, whether you buy a NECA figure or a Marvel figure or whatever? If you buy that and then you don't want to open it, because a lot of people say that takes away the value. I don't buy a lot that I keep mint on card, but I do buy some, and I hope they don't all go that route. I think maybe a lot of them might wait and see how it goes with their figures before they decide to do it. To go back to what Ken Pope said, still can't find Elvira. Yeah, I was really lucky. I found the Elvira NECA figure, and they had both. They had the regular and the signature series. And I think Cloudwish, if he's still on here, I've already told him this story. And I think I mentioned it in my video, where they couldn't get the figures to scan because they weren't in the computer yet. And I got them right off the cart. So they had just put them on the cart right on the shelf, is what the guy told me. I think I pulled them right off as soon as he was walking away. So he couldn't get them to scan. So basically we scanned a regular NECA figure, and it came up $34.99, and he sold me both Elviras for $34.99, and one of them is the signature one that was worth, I think it was supposed to sell for $100. So I don't know what it sells for now, but either way, I was able to get both of them. So I will say this, Ken, I have not seen that figure in my local store at all since then. So it was a one-time shot, and I don't know whether, if it's like any other NECA figure, though, a lot of times they're going to restock those things later. It's really, I don't know that I've seen a lot of NECA figures that they just don't come back and repackage. They did it with the Reanimator. They did it with the My Bloody Valentine. They've done it with a lot of them where they've released them. I think somebody just saw Pamela Voorhees, like the dead version from Friday 13th Part 3. I thought that figure was sold out and they're not going to make it anymore. And somebody I just watched a figure hunt, might have been Greg Cook, he just saw where they just re-released it. So they're doing that a lot, to where they're re-releasing figures again, and that kind of destroys the value of the figure if you're trying to keep it mint on the card and sell it later. But either way, so not Nightmare on Elm Street. No, I don't know if you remember my comment I just made a few minutes ago. Have you seen Nightmare on Elm Street? Either one of you guys saw did you guys see the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street? That movie was straight up hot garbage. If you go by my reviews on the channel, that's what I say when it's bad. That movie was terrible. The actor, I was really jazzed. I forget the actor's name, but he was the one that played Rorschach in the Watchmen movie. And I thought when I saw him being cast that was going to be a great idea to have him in the movie. And then once I saw it, man, everything is bad about it. His look is bad. His voice is bad. They didn't change up enough of the story. They just basically the key scenes, all they did was re-show it. And then I'll just mention this. I don't need my Freddy Krueger to be a straight up pedophile, which they basically showed that he took Polaroids of the kids and everything in there. They had back in the original when it came out, there were some court cases going on, and they didn't want to go out and say that that's exactly what he did. So they implied it and it made it much better. I mean, it totally destroyed the character, and it basically makes you like not even want to see anything. But after that happened, you don't want to follow through with that character anymore. And I'm glad they didn't make any more on there. Don't want to pay scalper's price for it. Yeah, I know, man. That's kind of sucks. That's what most of the figure hunters now. You're lucky if you get in there early or late. If you, I found some days when I go into the store like super early when they first open, you can catch stuff, but the workers are so lazy. Sometimes you'll ask them and they'll say stuff's in stock and it's not on the shelf. And I had one guy tell me the other day, "Oh, I think it's in the back," and he goes back there and spends like 2 minutes and then comes back and then said he couldn't find it, even though the app said it was in stock. So I even told him, I said, "What are you going to do if I place the online order and you have to go back and pull it?" And he goes, "Well, that won't work, because if we can't find it, we'll just hit the button and tell it that it's not in stock, and it'll cancel your order." So I was like, that's the customer service that you have today. Even stuff that's in stock, they won't always go to the back. So I try to go by there early, and then randomly I'll go by there after work, like especially like on a Friday. Our local Walmart seemed to stock figures late on Fridays, like I guess for the weekend. So sometimes I've caught stuff then. But either way, so I know Ken, I just want to thank you. You're one of the people that comments on most of my videos a lot. So I know you're one of my big supporters, and I know one of the things I need to do in order to get more people to come in and take advantage of these live streams and chat and get more, build the community, is I need to do more of them. So as of right now, my plan is most Sunday nights, if I'm free, to come in and start doing more live streams. Hey, there's old Dougie. Hey, man, what's going on? How you doing? It's good to see you. I appreciate you coming by here. I had a couple people dropping in, and I was wondering if you'd be one of them. So I appreciate you coming by. I don't know, did you see the topic I was talking about? The thumbnail I had on here was like from Evil Dead. I'm trying to gather enough of my favorite horror remakes or reimagined movies to where I'm going to make a best of, like a top 5 video. And the only reason I wanted this as a topic is because I didn't realize how hard it was going to be to decide that top 5. I almost could probably make a bottom 5 before I could make a top 5. And I'll go ahead and just do that here and tell you the worst one to me of all is Nightmare on Elm Street. I hate the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street. And then the Psycho is right there, because I've mentioned that earlier, where that's just a straight up shot for shot remake of that. That's garbage. And then The Fog is one of my favorite John Carpenter movies, and I think that movie is straight up garbage too. Is that a new cut of Evil Dead? What they did was, just so you know, this was I don't know what country this is in. I think it was Germany, maybe. I got it off of eBay. This has got the extended cut on it. And at the time it came out, the extended cut was not released in the US. When we got our Blu-ray, I think I got it over there. Hold on one second. I'll see if I can reach it. I can't. Nope. It's going to be too far. They only released the theatrical version, and then overseas they released the extended cut at the same time. So I bought this off of eBay. And then if you watch my last movie hunt, what happened was they released a 2-disc set in the US, and you get the theatrical and the extended cut. It's a 2-disc set. You get both of them in there. And I didn't even know that existed in the US. So this is one of my favorite remakes, which is what made me start it. When I saw that was coming, that I was going to buy that, I watched it again. And then that's what made me think of maybe doing that list. But I'm pretty sure what I'm going to do is I'm a collector. My discs are pretty minty. And this, even though it came from Germany, is it's a region free. If you look on there, it's got the A, B, and C logo on there. So you can watch this from any country. That was another reason I got it. I've got a region free player, but you can watch this anywhere. So with that being said, I went ahead and bought that 2-disc set because the back cover of this one is in foreign language. You can see that. I don't know what language this is. The countries are like Denmark, Sweden, Norway. But either way, it doesn't matter. It plays in American player. So what I thought I might do is I also agree that the remake reboot of Nightmare on Elm Street is the absolute worst. I despise that movie. Yeah, it's hot garbage. I don't know if you heard my comment. I jokingly said it. It's not a joke as far as what it's about, but I don't need that my version of Freddy Krueger to have Polaroids of children in the movie. If you're going to put that kind of trash in a movie, you need to just imply it like they did in the original. The makers of that movie, just to go there, it's kind of vile. I just don't even like the fact that they included that in there and straight up made that part of the character. But what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to post a video. I don't know what the video, maybe it'll be that top 5. How about that? The top 5 remakes that I do. I'm going to announce in that video that if you do a certain thing, and I'm not going to tell you what it is now, in the comments of that video, I'll give somebody this extended cut of The Evil Dead and I'll ship it to you. So anybody that watching this now, and anybody that watches this video when it posts, come back towards the end of the week when I do my top 5 horror remakes video. And in that, I'm going to give you instructions of what to do in the comments. And if you follow those instructions, the winner will get this Evil Dead extended cut. I'll send it to you for free. And even though it's open, it's mint fresh. You can trust me on that. So I'm a mint collector and I keep all my movies in good condition. So yeah, somebody will end up winning this one. And then hopefully you guys can send some comments my way this week and let me know. Do you agree? You agree with that the Nightmare on Elm Street is absolute worst? What is your favorite, Dougie? What is your favorite remake? Cool. Yeah, like I said, one day this week I'll make that video and I'll tell you what to do. You watch the video and it's not gonna, you're not gonna have to go to Instagram, you're not gonna have to go to Twitter or any of that stuff. It'll be really easy, something to just do in the comments of that video. I'll let you know what to do, and the first person that does it will win this, and then I'll get with you and we can figure out how I can get it shipped to you. But so what is your favorite horror remake? If you said that Nightmare on Elm Street, like me, was the worst, what is your favorite horror remake? Let me know what you think of that, or anybody else that's left in the chat. Yeah, Ken, what is your favorite horror remake if you've got one? Maybe it's one I'm not thinking about, because I even went back, like I said, most people that I talk to, they don't realize that John Carpenter's The Thing is a remake of The Thing from Another World. Is that what it was? Thing from Another World? It wasn't Thing from Another Planet, was it? Thing from Another World. So far, I have to say my favorite right now is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, that's pretty high on my list too. I like it because they just didn't do a straight up copy of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They changed some of the characters. Leatherface is more menacing to me. No insult to Gunnar Hansen, but that version of Leatherface was basically mentally challenged, or whatever you want to call it. And they just led him around and told him exactly what to do. And, you know, he even got all worried when somebody came into the house. But the Leatherface in the remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Jessica Biel is outstanding. And also the fact that fucking Jessica Biel was in it and looked as hot as she did, didn't hurt that movie one bit. I love movies, music movies, says Friday the 13th. Yeah, you weren't here earlier, and I did say Friday the 13th is one of my favorites, but I don't know what's going to be top 5, because to me, they didn't do enough different. They took the plot points that made 1, 2, 3, and 4 good, and then they just mashed them together and made almost like a mixtape, if you want to call it that, of Friday the 13th moments. Now, it was cool that they mixed it up a little bit and kept in the great concepts of the original Friday the 13th series, you know, like the blood and the boobs. But other than that, they didn't change enough for me for it to break into my top 5. But if I expanded to top 10, probably. And look, my channel is new. I don't think I'm going to try to make long videos right now where I do top 10 lists. We'll let that go. Some of the big boys who do a lot of the movie reviews do that. I think at the beginning I'm going to just stick with maybe top fives. So, but it could be harder to do because you have to like start chopping movies off your list. Because like I said earlier, I've got some movies here that I'm not sure, like between Dawn of the Dead, the remake, and the Night of the Living Dead remake. I love both of those remakes, so I don't know which one I would want on there. I honestly thought the Hitchhiker Suicide and the TMC remake was brutal and honestly well done. Yeah, that's one of the best parts because it was shocking the first time I saw that in the theater, because you go into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and you think it's probably going to be mostly a remake of the original. And then the hitchhiker ends up being a female, and then she blows her damn brains out inside the van. So they took that thing in two different directions. So that's why I said that would probably be one of the reasons that's going to be high on my list, is because they made so many different changes from the original, the movie. I love music movie, says The Ring 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I really did like the first Ring. The second one was okay, and the third one was just called Rings, right? I don't think I really liked that one as much. But I will say this: I've only seen the original Ring one time, and it's been probably 20 years ago. Was the Ring remake in the original, was it basically the story verbatim, or did they change enough of it? Because that's what, to me, what's going to squeeze you in my top 5 list of horror remakes is going to be, did you change and develop the story enough to where it isn't just a copy of the original? You made it your own. Yeah, let me know. The Ring, I need to go back and watch the original. It's been so long. I know I own the original, and I own the obviously the remake of it. So both of those are good. Yeah, to go back to close out what I was saying about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they did a lot of that that's different, because just the fact that they introduced the quote unquote sheriff, that character to me is what ended up making them go back and do Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning, because that character was so awesome and people liked it so much that they wanted to go ahead and show you what happened to him, how it led up into that movie. I don't think that movie the beginning one would have gotten made if it wasn't for him and that strong character. Asian version was the original movie, The Ring. Yeah, but the plot of the Asian version, The Ring, was it that much different than the U.S., or was it basically just translated into English with Naomi Watts? I really liked The Ring because at the time I saw the remake, I had never seen the original. So I went into that one like kind of blind and didn't know what it was about. And then after I saw it, I went back and said, yeah, this is pretty amazing. I want to see the original. I'll tell you another movie I just thought of, and I don't know whether it's horror. Have you guys seen Old Boy? I'm not sure that's straight up horror, but that might be psychological horror. But I know people shit on the Spike Lee version of Old Boy because they say it's basically a copy, but they leave out all the good stuff. I think the remake of Old Boy is actually pretty decent, but I'm a Josh Brolin fan. I think he's really good in that. I know the movie could have been better. They could have changed it up, but because of the content and the plot, and then to me, the acting is not that bad to the point to where they rose above the material a little bit. Now, I will say the hallway scene where they do that fight is bull crap in the remake, and everything about the original in that scene is awesome. And then the one scene where the dude's eating that live octopus and it's coming out of his mouth, that's pretty epic. Ever seen Shudder? That's again a remake. I've only seen the American version and I didn't really like it. That one, I liked The Ring and it got me to the point to where I wanted to see the original. Shudder, I didn't really like the remake of it, so it didn't make me want to go watch the original. So is the original better? Because I mean, I'll give it a chance. I mean, if the original is better than what we got in the U.S., I might go see it. So, I mean, I might try to pick it up. Never heard of it, but I just watched Found last weekend, and holy shit, that was very intense. Like, I knew it was going to be graphic and disturbing, but I didn't expect them to take it as far as they did. Found is an amazing movie. I'm not exactly sure if it's true, but if you look on Internet Movie Database, it says that they made that movie for $10,000. And if you look at what you get plot wise, the practical effects, and a lot of people shit on the acting and saying that the boy in there is like really terrible, but I didn't think he did that bad of a job. But his brother, like, I mean, he seems pretty creepy, and that character, man, I don't know, man. Yeah, if you play that character, you might get fucked up in real life. No, I only saw the American. Yeah, me neither. I never saw Shutter, the Asian one. But yeah, to go back, if anybody hadn't seen it, I do. Every time I go in Big Lots and I see the movie Found on the shelf, I pick it up, and I always tell people, for $3, that'll be the best $3 you ever spend if you're a horror movie fan. Hey, Dougie, now what I'll tell you is, and I might have told you this before. Yeah, I was going to say that's the only thing that I don't like about the movie is the father is a straight up racist, and that's what led to me to for his son to maybe turn into the serial killer that he was. I'm glad they only kind of mention it in 2 scenes because it doesn't take away from the movie. But I will tell you this, because of his dad being a racist, I was rooting for his ass to get killed at the end. The mother is the one that I felt so sorry for. Man, what is with these mothers in these horror movies? They're the ones that usually get shit on, man, and just have to deal with so much. Have you ever seen the movie We Need to Talk About Kevin? Is that the name of it? The mother in that, oh my God, did she ever have the shit to deal with? Talk About Kevin. Let me look it up and see. Yeah, We Need to Talk About Kevin. It's got Tilda Swinton is the mother, John C. Reilly. It's weird that he's in that. And Ezra Miller plays Kevin. And Ezra Miller is as fucked up as he is now in the news as far as the stuff he's doing. Now you know why maybe he played that character so well in that movie. But if you haven't seen that, We Need to Talk About Kevin. That was I discovered that around the same time I saw Found. Now, hey, Doug, I'll tell you something funny. So if you like Found, did you know that the movie inside the movie that's called Headless, that the director and creator went out and actually made that movie Headless? So the scenes that you see in there are basically clips from the movie Headless that he made. I think it might have been after he did Found, he went back and made Headless. Now, what I'll tell you about that is, if the clips of Headless from Found disturbed you, then don't watch Headless at all, because it's basically 3 or 4 scenes in a row of the exact same thing that he's doing in Headless. But I do like a little bit of Headless as far as it's a homage to like the slasher movies from the 80s with the wraparound story, because it's a girl who's kind of going through something and like some personal stuff, and then she ends up getting this guy stalking her or whatever. So but I'll just warn you, if you thought Headless was, Found was brutal, the Headless movie that's inside of there is even worse as far as the brutality and the nastiness that's going on in there. But I always wondered why Found will only cost like 10 grand. Why somebody didn't take that concept and maybe kind of remake that with a bigger budget, because I think I discovered that movie at Big Lots and years ago and bought it, or somewhere, I can't remember. Maybe it was I don't think it was like Best Buy or anywhere, but that movie's pretty intense. And I ended up like I got the Blu-ray and the of Headless and the Blu-ray of Bound. And so then later I bought the DVD and because I ended up trading it to you. So yeah, that movie's intense. I thought the method that Kevin used to carry out his acts of violence was really lame. I watched Headless. It was on Found. Was it on there? The whole thing? That was really on there? I didn't know that was on there. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I've got both of them on Blu-ray. So, like I said, I was only buying the DVDs because I was going to use them as trades or giveaways. Hey, Jeff, man, Royce, how you doing, brother? I'm glad you stopped by to see us. Had a few people popping in and out. I was planning on only going to do this for an hour. I think what I'm going to do is start doing this more regular on like Sunday nights. Sorry you're late. That's fine, man. I'm new to this thing. I don't do a lot of live streams, but I want to start because now that I'm over 1,000 subscribers, I want to start growing this channel and I want to start doing giveaways. What I was telling them earlier is I'm going to do my video of my top 5 favorite horror remakes this week. And when I drop it, I'm going to have instructions in there. So what you need to do. It's going to be something related to the comments of that video. And I'm going to pick somebody to win this extended cut of Evil Dead. This is my copy that I bought earlier. I've had this for a long time. I got it right when it came out. It's a foreign release, so you won't be able to read that, but it is all region and it'll play on any player. But I bought myself the 2-disc version this week if you watch my movie hunt. Where it's got the regular and the extended. And then if you're looking at the comments, you just got spammed with some nastiness. So let me block this user. Headless was definitely extreme. I didn't care for the lack of story, but the violence was insane. Yeah. All right. So in Headless, did they show the wraparound part? You see what I'm talking about? The girl who worked at the roller skate rink and her friend. And that part I liked. The part about him just randomly picking girls and cutting their heads off and then having sex with them, I could have done without. But either way, I think that, the movie's pretty good other than that. The practical effects are really good. Hey, man, have 4 free Dollar Tree movies on me. You're cool, man. I appreciate that. You want to know what? You are my first super chat that I've ever gotten since I've started doing this. So like I ended up on my last live stream. I ended up being over 1,000 subscribers, and that's why I did one of them. And in that one, they told me that I had the ability then to get super chats. So that's new to me. So you rule, man. So does Sundays work for you guys? Because I know some of you guys are my regulars and comment on all my videos, and I love you guys. And like I said, I'm new to YouTube, obviously, in the grand scheme of things. I know like Cody Leach and Drum Dums. Those are guys I talked to on the side. They inspired me to start doing stuff on YouTube. I talked to them in the horror groups that I'm in. They were members there, and it took them about 6 years, and both of them kind of got up there after that. But you got to start somewhere, and I wanted to start talking to you guys more and start talking about movies. So I can throw an hour here or there on a Sunday evening. If you guys think that instead of 8 o'clock, if 9 o'clock works better, let me know. Give me some ideas. Maybe it wasn't the whole movie then. I believe it was just a section. Yeah, because he did a short film called Headless that he turned into a feature. And so I didn't remember seeing it on the DVD because I think that's might have been why I sought out the Blu-ray at the time. And the Blu-ray, I bought it from his website, the director, or whatever his name was, and I got the signed edition of it. So maybe I'll bring that on here one day and we'll talk about extreme horror movies. I can try to pop in on Sundays. What time works best for you? 8 or 9? 8 works for me. I mean, I can stick with 8. I'll try it. I know some of the people that support me, like Mr. Stargell stopped in. I mean, I stop in on his toy reviews every once in a while or live streams, and we chat quite a bit, and he's giving me some pointers. And I was telling the guys earlier Royce. I rebranded my channel. You obviously won't know. Do I have Shutter? Hell yeah, I got Shutter. Instead of Jeffman316 Customs, I'm now Jeffman316 Pop Culture Reporter, because when I started the channel, I won't go into the long spiel again, but I used to make custom action figures, and somebody told me, hey, you should post your action figures on YouTube to get started. And I did. And the first couple of action figures I made, I didn't even show myself in them. And all I did was show the figure. And I got, I think, a couple thousand views on the first two. So then now I did most of my hits on my movie hunts and things related to unboxings and stuff like that. I don't get a lot of movie review views right now. Yes, I've seen The Sadness. I started watching and got interrupted. And it's a movie that my wife didn't like. She's not big into horror movies, especially one as extreme as that. So when it got pretty violent, I stopped it. And then she works a little bit different schedule than me. So I came back afterwards. So it's really good. Yeah, I've been trying to see. I wanted to buy it. I know some countries got a 4K steelbook already out of it. So 9 may work better for me, but I'll definitely try, at least pop in and say hi. Yeah, I appreciate that. Maybe I'll do 8:30. We'll do 8:30, and then that way I'll do it for an hour. I'll catch anybody maybe on the back end that likes 8, and I'll do it on the front end for both of those times. Do I still make custom figures? How much do you charge? It's all relative to what you want, because I've made some Masters of the Universe WWE figures because they stopped doing those. I made some for people, and those are a little bit easier because you can mix and match the parts. And then I do some custom painting on there, and those I don't charge too much. I've sold some customs for upwards of $100, $150, but it was CM Punk figures back in the day when every pay-per-view he had different attires. And I don't think Cloudwish is probably still on here, but if he is, he knows back in the day, I used to go buy figures and then I would paint them like the next weekend and put them in a box and customize the box. And that's when I sell them for the most. But if I'm just throwing a little bit of paint on there, I'll help people out. So it's all relative to what I have to do and what it costs me, because obviously parts and supplies are a lot now compared to what they used to be. And once again, you rule, Royce. I appreciate you. You're my first super chat. I wasn't expecting it, and I appreciate any of you guys that support me. So I wonder how much of that, they'll be like eBay. Everything you sell on damn eBay, they take so much of it. I feel like I don't want to sell it on there anymore. I wonder how much of that super chat they'll actually give me, but we'll see. I'll let you know. I'm just making sure. And speaking of that, just to go back to your comment, Royce, Shutter, year over year, if you had Shutter a year ago, you were probably almost ready to cancel it, because it was basically they would drop movies off and a month or two later they pick them up again, and it would be what they call their essentials. But they've done so much with original content. And I was telling somebody earlier, one of you, that trade I did, I ended up getting The Beach House on DVD. That's one of my favorite Shutter movies. It's just original. It's got a lot, and I didn't have the physical release of it, but the Shutter originals and then Joe Bob's Drive-In Theater, if just between the two of those, it makes it so worth the price every month. They drop at least one or two Shutter originals every month that are awesome. And it used to be, a lot of those were kind of cheesy, and now they're putting more and more money into it. Superhost was good. I can't remember. It was another one I did a review on the channel, but most of those things are awesome. Creepshow was good too. Yeah, I will say though that Creepshow is hit or miss, just like Tales from the Crypt used to be. It's more good than bad. I'd say like maybe 1 out of 3 is not good. I reviewed the Creepshow. One of my favorite ones was the Christmas episode. There's a review of that one up on the channel if you guys haven't watched that. I'll normally just watch their foreign titles. You're the opposite of me. I'm a visual guy. I don't watch the foreign titles as much if they're subtitled, because I find that I'm having to rewind a lot because I really want to see what's going on the channel. I mean, in the video, like if I'm watching a movie and having to read long lines of subtitles, I just can't do it. So what I tend to do is that's the reason a lot of times if I like the Shutter and they're foreign, I'll buy the DVD and it'll either have a dub on it or that way I can watch it either way. I've canceled Shutter twice. I may get it again later. I've just been trying to go through my physical media at the moment. Yeah, me too. But dude, nothing. If Friday nights, if nothing else, Joe Bob Drive-In Theater. The last couple weeks they haven't had the greatest choices, but just the first 30 minutes of him introducing the first movie, I love Joe Bob. I'll tell my age here a little bit. I watched Joe Bob from the movie channel on my dad's satellite dish when I lived at home. That was amazing. He got fired, and then he went to a TNT for Monster Vision, and then he got fired from there, and then went and did the Shutter. And I think he made a joke saying it was like he was like Pennywise the Clown, because I think it was the movie channel, and then 17 years later he got Monster Vision, and then 17 years later he got the Shutter. So I love Joe Bob or whatever. I want to mention one other thing for anybody. I don't want to forget because I promised the guy that I would start talking about some of his stuff. There's a guy that I may end up hopefully do an interview with him on the channel soon. His name is Jason Pitts. He's an independent filmmaker. I donated to his Indiegogo, and he sent me this. I've already watched the movie streaming because the Indiegogo, he sent me a link when I did it, but it's a movie that's called Masquerade. I'll tell you, this lady here, Olivia Disney, if she doesn't eventually turn into a good horror movie actress, I don't know why. She's amazing in this. It's a short film. It's an independent movie. Masquerade. He sent me a burned copy of it for donating to the Indiegogo for his new movie. I don't know that this movie is available. I'll let you guys know in the chat. But this is a support indie filmmakers if you can. Most of them have something you can support like for $1 to where you can just, they'll do that and they'll put you in the credits. So that's what I'm going to start doing because I like to get those physical copies and help people. Do you primarily have a horror franchise you mainly collect? What do you mean, like movies or just anything in general as far as collectibles? Because movies, I've got them all. I mean, I literally have all the Friday the 13th, all the Texas Chainsaw Massacres, all the Halloweens, all the Nightmare on Elm Streets. Blah. That's one of my least favorite. I think Nightmare on Elm Street after the first 3 is totally overrated. I'm looking over here on my shelf where I got a lot of my horror movies. I got all the Evil Deads. I got all of the Romero's, and you know that story, The Night of the Living Deads. Still here, internet is laggy on my end. Hopefully my internet's good. I actually bought a damn cable before this one where I'm actually hardwired into the cable, my cable modem right now, so that way I didn't have any problems. But to go back to what Dougie said, if you mean collect anything, it's going to be Halloween. I've got at least one mask from every Halloween movie. Maybe I'll show those in a video this Halloween. I've got a Nick Castle signed pop. I bought a set of the Halloween cards from Fright Rags. That's, I mean, mega expensive now. I got them when they first came out, and it was like $60 in the store. And I pulled a Nick Castle autograph out of that. I'll show maybe some of my Halloween stuff, whatever. I got all the NECA figures. So if it's going to be a franchise that I collect collectibles and movies from, the big one is going to be Halloween. I will say this, though, that other than Halloween, the first 2, and then the newest ones, some of those Halloween movies are a little, I don't know what you want to call it. They bore me a little bit. Nice. My main is Frankenstein. I even have a Frankenstein tattoo on my arm, says Dougie. I don't have any tattoos, so but if I did, I'd probably get either a Michael Myers mask or a Jason mask, something like that. But I will say this: if I'm in a in a weird mood where I just want to see something kind of funny, something that I'm drinking some beers or something, and I want to kind of make fun of something, I'll put in a Friday the 13th movie sometimes before Halloween. If I'm serious and want to watch a really good horror movie, I'll put in Halloween 1 or 2 or maybe 2018. I'm not as big a fan as Halloween 4 and 5 as everybody else. I got the poster for Halloween 4 over there, and that thing is so like the biggest false advertisement in the history of movie posters. I remember it hanging up in the theater where it's got the Michael Myers mask from Halloween 1 on it. And then you go into the theater and you get that piece of trash mask that's from Halloween 4. I hated that. That almost made me like hate the movie, even though Halloween 4 is decent. But I know a lot of people are starting to come around to Halloween 5 more. I just can't stand Halloween 5. I don't like anything about it. And Danielle Harris is okay. And I know everybody was pissed when they didn't use her in the new Halloween. But, I mean, she was so young in that. She was okay. She did a great job for her age. But I didn't need Laurie to have, Jamie as a child. I'm okay with what they did with Karen in that. I know I just read a post today saying that they wish that they hadn't used Karen and that they had put Jamie in there. But as far as slashers, I like most of the main ones. Have you seen Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon? Yep, I've seen that. Somebody asked me that either in a comment or one of the live streams I did. I really think that's an underrated movie. People should watch that. Maybe I'm starting to think that because I can't compete with the Stuckmans and the Drum Dums and all these other the Austin Burks, the movie reviewers out there. I can't do that. I take so much time doing a movie review, and sometimes I'll try to do a skit in front of it, and then sometimes I'll put some extra effort into it, and then I'll get like 50 views. I know I gotta be patient, but with that being said, I think I'm going to end up being able to maybe do some recommendation videos where I find movies like that, the Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, and recommend horror movies that aren't mainstream. Like I'm not going to go out and review, the newest Doctor Strange movie when it came out. I said I was, but I didn't because I just don't think I'm going to get the views. But yeah, I love that Behind the Mask movie. What do you do for a living and how much time do you devote to your hobbies? I manage a computer service. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't like to talk about a lot of my personal stuff on here because I know people can use that. I will actually say I'm the vice president of a company. So it's computer related. We'll leave it at that. And I will say that as far as my hobbies, my hobby mainly used to be action figures and toys. And then I collected a lot of movies on the side. But then after I got married and, you have a kid and you're at home more, I started going the opposite way and I started getting into movies more. And then my dad was a movie lover and got me into Alfred Hitchcock. I know he likes other stuff, but he likes a lot of horror movies. And so we would go to the movie together a lot. And I mean, my dad is in his 70s now. And then every once in a while we still do enjoy going to the movie together. So I would say I try to watch a lot of movies. I try to get my wife into horror movies. She likes some of them as long as they're not too bloody. But I don't, as far as I try to do, as far as stress relief, I still try to do the action figure, like custom figures every once in a while. But the ones I make now are mainly for me to keep. And I don't share a lot of those with people because some of them are not as good as the one I spend a lot of time and sell. Halloween 4 and 5 are the only two I'm missing. Yeah, I bought the Shout Factory box set that's got all the Halloweens in it. I know that's quite pricey right now as far as what it's worth, but was a Shout? Yeah, the one that's got the 4Ks in it. I bought that. I got a video in here. You get Halloween 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I think, are the ones that are in there because Miramax owns like 6, 7, 8, 9, I think. So I don't know what they're doing with those, but those are pretty much trash anyway. I will say that if I'm going to watch, I was going to say a minute ago, one of those cheesy horror movies from a franchise like that. The first Friday 13 movie I saw in theaters was part 6. 6, 7, and 8 are guilty pleasures of mine. I love Kane Hodder. So when he started in 7 and 8, and And then I think that's why I love that fan film that I recommended to you guys so much, that Roseblood. And I started talking to Peter Anthony. He's got a couple of new fan films. One that just came out about Friday the 13th, and The Fall of Camp Blood is pretty good. So check that out. And then he's got another one, Vengeance Part 2, that I supported. So hopefully you guys are checking out some of this other content that I talk about on the channel. I wish I could find that box set. I think it goes for like over 2K now. Really? Is it that high? Shit, man. If I need to like pay the mortgage every once in a while, or if something happens to my job, I at least I know. I was telling my wife, horror movies tend to hold value and rise because sometimes they lose the rights, or they'll release another version that'll be bare bones, and the one that's got the special features on it will stay like it's keeps its value. So I think of all the movies that I've got, my horror movies are the ones that's got, I've got the most value. I've got the box set of Friday the 13th, the box set of Halloween, the Phantasm with the sphere, the Best Buy one. I ended up with that. What other ones? Did they release box sets of anything else? I'm not sure. Did you guys, I just happened to look at it. Did you guys see Jeepers Creepers, and are you aware that that there's another one, Jeepers Creepers Reborn, coming out? I always wanted the tattoo of the puzzle box from Hellraiser. Yeah, that would be cool. Man, you want to talk about a franchise that took a damn nosedive after the first two. The third one is okay. Hellraiser 3, it's not bad. To me, it was good. It's got Terry Farrell, is how you pronounce her name. She used to be in Star Trek. She was one of the reasons I liked it. So, but after that, man, those are all trash. And the new one that's coming out, supposedly it's going to have a female pinhead in it. So, I always thought Doug Bradley and Robert Englund, even though they're old, they could put that damn Playtex stuff on there, or whatever you want to call it, on mask. They could glue those appliances on their face, and they could come back and do those parts all over again, and people would eat that shit up. So I don't know what I'm going to think about a female pinhead, but I guess it can't be any worse than the ones that they made after 3. Well, they made like what, 6 or 7 more of those. Either way, I guess once that comes out, that might end up being on my worst horror remakes list. So I was trying to see if I had anything else on my list, if you guys wanted to chat. The one thing I mentioned and nobody even replied, did any of you guys see Old Boy, the original or the remake? Would that be considered a horror movie? Could you consider Old Boy a horror movie? Would it be a psychological horror movie? I don't know if you guys have seen it. Yeah, Doug Bradley and Clive Barker are a power duo. I think Barker is executive producing the new Hellraiser movie, maybe, but I don't think Doug Bradley has got anything to do with it. I thought it would be cool, man. They should put him in there as with a bit role or something. Kind of like they did, with Stan Lee. I was looking to see if Clive Barker had anything to do with the new one on Internet Movie Database. It doesn't list him. I don't know. I think it'd be a shame if he didn't at least executive produce it, because Clive Barker's got to be involved in order to keep that thing on the damn rails, because if they he's not mentioned on it. So that sucks if he's not involved in it. Never even heard of Old Boy. Really? Old Boy, like I said, Spike Lee remade it. But Old Boy is pretty iconic, dude, as far as movies go. Old Boy. Shit, can't type. It was made in 2003, the original. I need to get it up on my computer, but I'll just do this. That's the cover. You might have seen it. Figured it'd be easier for me to just look it up there. After being kidnapped and imprisoned for 15 years, this guy's released only to find that he must find his captor in 5 days or else. And it involves something that happened to his family. Like they basically blackmail him to where everybody thinks that he murdered his wife, and then his daughter survived. Are you on Letterboxd? No, I started it and then I haven't gotten back on there again. I was thinking about going back and put it on there. I need to also figure out, somebody recommended a program to me. I need to start cataloging all these damn Dollar Tree movies that I bought. They recommended a program called CLZ Movies. Have you guys ever heard of that? And then supposedly you can scan the barcodes and call Hollywood woke issue, or do you not think it's a problem? I think it is sometimes. I guess I'll need to see that Hellraiser before I decide whether it's a quote unquote woke or not. Are they doing it just to have a female in it? I will tell you this, and I'm not trying to get anything stirred up, but we were talking about this at work, is if you are an actor and you're straight and you play a gay part, now they're coming down on you saying you're taking parts away from gay actors. But there's plenty of roles in Hollywood where gay actors play straight men and they don't do anything about it. So what is the difference? I think we're to the point to where it just should be whoever's the most talented and who reads for the part and how well they do and how their presence is on screen or during a screen test or whatever. Nobody gives a shit about your sexuality or whatever unless that's part of the role or whatever. So I do think sometimes they do take it too far with this wokeness. I will say that a lot of people have complained a lot, and I do think, though, that they blame something being woke more than it really should be, because I think people are now trying to look into that and say sometimes when it's something they don't like, they'll blame it on it being woke. But yeah, I think it creeps in a little too much more than it should. You can't scan Dollar Tree movies because they put their own sticker on it. But can't you? Isn't that on the plastic? Like this was I have a Dollar Tree movie here. Yeah, I got two here. So you got Cupid, and then I got this Pimped. So yeah, like you got the sticker there, which is the Dollar Tree one. But if you either take a pair of scissors, I'm okay with opening the damn things up. I mean, they cost $1. So I mean, I sold a bunch of movies at this weekend. I always tell you guys when you guys like, oh, you got so many movies. We had a yard sale and I sold a bunch of movies this past weekend. So I got a bunch of my dollars back. But I haven't opened these yet. But look, you can see the original barcode on that one. So I know I can scan it. I'll just open them up and just scan the original damn barcode. Because I got so many Dollar Tree movies to watch. Have you heard about the remake of Nosferatu with William Dafoe? Yeah, I heard about it, but I've heard about it for a long time. I mean, is it actually being made? And when is it coming out? They showed Nosferatu on, did you watch it on Shudder? They showed the original, the silent one, remastered, and then they showed the one that had Klaus Kinski, is that how you pronounce his name? I didn't particularly like that one. It doesn't matter. I know what you were talking about. It doesn't matter if you spelled it right or not. We don't care about that kind of shit around here, dude. You can't scan before you buy. Well, I know that. No, I'm talking about, but once I get them all scanned in, I'll go into the store with the database, and then I can bring them up in alphabetical order, and it'll let me know whether I got them or not. So I've got some vacation days I haven't used, about 2 weeks of my vacation. So thinking about taking a day or two off during the summer and just staying in here one day and scanning all of the movies I got over there. My camera's on my laptop and it's mounted into it, so I can't take it off. I was going to show you guys a picture if I can figure out how to use my own technology. Here's one of my bookcases. And what I've done is there's two bookcases here that I've got my favorite movies in. So you can kind of see that. I've got 2 rows. It's 2 rows, 1 row there and 1 row behind it, and then it stacks on top. I've got 2 bookcases like it. Those are my favorite movies. So what I did was I divided them up. Like I got my Scream Factory, Shout Factory ones, and then I got the ones below it are my sequels, and then I've got franchises together. So like in that one, if you saw that, I got all my John Carpenters together. And then beside it, I got what I would consider the 2000s and all some of my favorite ones. So like I got Malignant, It Follows. Have you seen It Follows? That's a damn good movie. That damn movie needs to get way more respect. I have the original DVD, but it's a special cut with the music from Typo Negative. I don't think I've ever seen that. Ready or Not, You're Next, Happy Death Day 1 and 2. Those 4Ks are coming out this week, and unless they did some masterful job of upgrading, I'm tired of buying the same movie over again. If I already own a movie, I'm going to start watching a review before I pay to upgrade it, because I did that with Life Force this week, and they said it wasn't any good, and that's one of my favorite movies. So I just bought Candyman, and I didn't buy Life Force. But I got Freaky, Split, and The Hunt. Those are some of my newer favorites over the last, 5-6 years. But with that being said, either way. So if I ever get big, like some of these other guys, and then I'll do what they do is I'll sit down one day and just stack up my Blu-rays and do a 5-hour video of all the different movies I got on Blu-ray. And I'm not doing all these Dollar Tree movies. I don't keep the Dollar Tree movies in this room. This is my good collection. These are my go-to movies. If I want to sit here, I got my TV over here. It's my 3D TV. If you watched my video, I was talking about 3D movies. Found one at the Dollar Tree, and I still do have my 3D television. I watched Jaws 3D right here the other day. Got this recliner here. Got a television over there. Got my movies surrounding me. Got my computer over here. So this is my little computer room. I watch stuff in here. Any of my Dollar Tree movies I've got on a giant bookcase in my basement. And then as I open them and watch them, if they're no good, then like a couple times a year, I have a yard sale, or I'll trade them, or I'll sell them on eBay. So once I get pretty big, I want to start doing more giveaways on here, or giveaways, come up with some different ideas. So, but yeah, you guys watch out for that video this week. I'll let you guys know how you can get this Evil Dead. So if you guys that are on here right now, who's seen the extended cut of the Evil Dead? Any of you guys seen the extended cut of that? It's really good. They don't add a lot, but they do add a lot of some stuff around the major character, the main character, Mia. They add a little bit of context around her stuff, and the ending is a teeny bit different. And no, they don't include Ash or anything in there. If anybody's asking, they don't go that route. But I love this Evil Dead. I remember going to the theater, seeing it, and almost wishing that I could sit there and watch it again. It was that good. So if you haven't seen that, watch it, and then, or hopefully you'll come back and win, and you'll get the extended cut. I have not seen the extended cut. Well, hopefully, Dougie, you might win this. Like I said, this next week is when I'm going to post how you can win this copy of it. So, who's left we got on here? Is anybody? Still got 5 people watching. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on here chatting with me. Hopefully what we'll do is I'll start doing this more often, and you guys can come back and we'll start building this thing up, and we'll get some really good chats going about movies. And I'll try to always keep it within an hour or so. Anything I talk about, if we can keep it on topic, I might post when they do. The way this works is I'll end the broadcast and it'll process overnight, and it'll show back up tomorrow. So the portion where we're talking about the horror movies, after I post my video, I might chop that part out and just post it as a separate video for anybody that might have missed some of our chats. But I really do appreciate you guys. I mean, I hope you know that when I say that, I like movies. I like talking about movies. I wanted to start up this channel, and I know you got to build it from people like you guys. So like I know Royce, I see him comment all the time. Ken, I see you guys commenting. Dougie, I see you. Cloudwish, you guys that have supported me here as I'm getting started. I couldn't do this without you. Hopefully we'll get some more friends on here and we can start chatting. Anyone having holiday sales? You talking about Memorial Day? I saw Best Buy sent me an email about a Memorial Day sale, but damn, I spent so much money on movies this past week. I decided I'm not even looking at it. I ain't clicked it. So I'm not planning on going out to any stores on Memorial Day. We're doing like a family cookout tomorrow. Do you have any horror trades available? You mean titles? I had a little stack of horror movies that I was thinking about trading. I don't have it up here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll post a photo in the community tab of some that I have for trade. Actually, wait a minute. I sent somebody some photos of ones that I did have for trade. So, give me 1 second. I had been looking for, got a few anime titles that I had wanted because I'm not big in anime, but I figured for $1.25. I traded a guy a couple of them. Hey, yeah, I got some. Here's some of the DVDs I got. Neil Patrick Harris did a great job as Barney in The Big Bang. I couldn't see anyone else playing that role. Barney in The Big Bang. What is the Barney in The Big Bang? Neil Patrick Harris was in talking about Big Bang Theory? I got a few DVDs. You said horror? Here's some of the ones I got. I'll read you. I've got some of these are open, but you know me, I wouldn't mention them if they were in bad shape. I got the original Paranormal Activity on DVD, Lake Fear 3, The Lady in Black, Rake, Ghost in the Graceland. No, shit, Graceland. Ghost in the Graveyard. Can't even read the print. The Relic, The Ring. Hey, speaking of The Ring, and a season of Bates Motel, season 2 Bates Motel. And I've got a couple of Blu-rays, but I'm not sure if I still have them. If I do, I've got Gwen, which is a Shudder title, Legion, Storage 24. I'm looking for horror. I don't have a lot of horror on Blu-ray. The Lazarus Effect. I've got Nuns, Deadly Confession, The Room, which is a Shudder title, Pentagram, Dollhouse. I think I've got an extra copy of The Marshes and a copy of Spree. I've got Monster Party on Blu-ray. And I don't think any of the rest of that's horror. That was a few that I got. So if you got anything horror related, I'd like to swap horror for horror. You can let me know. Is the Lazarus Effect good? Well, you might be asking the wrong guy because I'll be honest with you. Let me read you the description of what it's about. Let me finish my thought. The reason I say that is, man, I'm a huge Olivia Wilde fan. I think she's a very underrated actress, and she's hot fucking stuff. And I loved her from when she was on House. So she's in it. It's not great. I'm not going to go overboard and tell you it's like a 10, but it is really good. It says a group of researchers led by Frank and his fiancée Zoe, who've achieved the unimaginable, bringing the dead back to life. To me, it is better than Flatliners. What it's about. It's a similar story, not quite, but yeah, I thought it was good just because I like her. Postage these days are crazy. How much do you pay to send a single DVD when you swap? I try not to swap just one. That's why the last trade I did, we did 3. And then when I did with somebody else, they traded me a figure and movies. I don't like to go into all my trade dealings on here because I mean, you know, everybody's got their own values. But and then I sent them a couple of DVDs, but Blu-rays. So I try not to do one, but media mail is around $3.50. So, and you can usually get 3 movies under $4. So what I've done is if I try to swap 2 or 3 movies, and then by the time you pay for gas to go looking for those movies, because I'll just tell you this, I got 4 new Dollar Tree videos to edit and put out, but I did all 4 of those Dollar Tree visits at the same exact time. We were heading out of town, and I stopped at 2 nearby, and I stopped at 2, and they were, as somebody said in one of my comments, the Dollar Trees are trickling movies out because they put so many of those MGM titles and so many of those other titles out the last couple months. They're not selling. They're clogging up the end caps and the shelves to the point to where they wait till a box sells and then they put a new one out. I went into a store 2 weeks ago and found a new box of movies, and it was one of the ones I recorded where I found them in the electronics section. That exact same store I went in yesterday, got another new box of movies put out, and I found a few more. So I've got about, like I said, 4 more Dollar Tree videos that I got to edit, put out. I went to a flea market out of town. I've got footage of that I've got to edit and put out there. We went to another flea market this past weekend. Dude, I got a lot of videos to edit, and I got behind because of work the last couple of weeks, put in a lot of extra hours, and we've been busy. So hopefully I can get back on track. Sundays are the days I usually edit videos, and I did edit 4 videos today. So you guys will see some new stuff. I really love that steel book of Hell or High Water. The artwork on that was amazing. I've already got that edited and dropping it tomorrow, I think. What else was it I told you guys? I'm actually almost finished editing the stuff that I promised you guys. Yeah, I got another Big Lot store that posted. I've got a pro wrestling loot to edit. I've already put that on there. I've got the horror packs. I edited that movie this morning, and that's probably going to be what drops tomorrow as well. So I got a lot of stuff out there. And speaking of that, I'm going to keep promoting it all I can. If you watch The Offer on Paramount Plus, if you haven't, that show is amazing. It's about the Godfather and the making of the original movie. And I said it during my review. I'm not a huge fan of the original Godfather. Yeah, I said it. It's good, but I don't think it's the greatest movie ever made. A lot of people, I think, overblow that. But the show is one of the first shows since The Sopranos where I get to the end and I'm literally pissed that the show's getting ready to go off. That show is that good. I think you guys should watch it. And I think until the middle of June, you can use that code that I put in my Paramount Plus video. Target 30 will get you 30 free days. And what I'll tell you is when you go on day 30 to cancel it, if you do like me, they'll ask you, say, don't go, and they'll extend it for 30 more days. So if you do it now and for 60 days, you should be able to catch all of The Offer, because I think it's only 10 episodes and they've already posted 7. That show is amazing. And I'll also tell you, I told Cloudwish, if he's still on here, we were talking about it. Strange New Worlds, the new Star Trek show. That is the best Star Trek show that I've seen since The Next Generation. It's amazing. The first episode was awesome. The second 2 were not as good, but this 4th episode they just posted, outstanding. So I can't wait to buy that, because if it's like Best Buy might have a steel book of the first season when it comes out. What kind of people are you looking to interview? We have a decent horror community out my way. Anybody? Like I said, I've got I interviewed Peter Anthony. He was the director of those Halloween shit. He's gonna kill me. Friday the 13th fan films. And then the young actress that was in there. I'm talking to this Jason Pitts. He's done some independent horror movies. And then somebody that was associated with the actors in some of those movies contacted me on the side, but I was so busy with work that I couldn't set up any interviews. So I would love to do any kind of interviews, or anybody that wants to help promote anything or just talk horror movies. So let me know what kind of ideas you got. So it'd be kind of cool. Did I catch? Go back. Oh yeah. what Ken said. Yeah, like I said, I'm willing to wait till I've got 2 or 3 DVDs to mail before we if you guys wanted to trade anything. It is postage is that's what I always have to remind people when I sell something on eBay. I usually post it with free shipping, and I've already added in my mind $4 to the price for shipping. So then that way, if I start taking offers on it and they start saying, "Oh, will you go lower? Will you go lower? Will you go lower?" You can't go but so low. Once you pay eBay fees and shipping, Jesus Christ, man, it's an outrageous fortune nowadays. And then if you have to drive around looking for stuff, that's why I try to do my movie hunting in one day. I'll go out at lunch and hunt. And then sometimes on my way home, I'll stop at like Dollar Trees or Dollar Generals or whatever, because I don't want to have to go back out because gas costs so much. The one time we went out of town, I didn't do any movie hunting that week and wait and did it on the way. So that way I'm doing everything in one trip. So it's ridiculous. Cloud Wish, are you still on here? Who's Barney on the Big Bang? I don't know what Barney is. Neil Patrick Harris. Neil Patrick Harris is funny as hell. Hey, speaking of that, isn't he gay? So he's taking straight roles away from men. He was in that 8-Bit Christmas playing the father. He took a role away from a straight man. His character was named Barney. I just didn't connect the dots. I didn't remember his name being Barney on there. I remember he was on the show, but I swear I didn't remember it being his name Barney. That's why the dots weren't connecting for me. Sorry about that. That's been a while since that show's been on. How I Met Your Mother ended in 2014. Jesus, man. That's like already 8 years ago. Man, we're getting old. I need to get off here tonight. I'll talk to you soon, man. Yep. I think we've already hit an hour and 36 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and probably wrap this up. Unless somebody's got any other questions. If you do, you can, that is the first new Star Trek series that I've not seen the haters attack yet. Yeah, like I said, I'm giving it praise. I love the original show, and then I loved Next Generation. I thought the rest of them were good, but I didn't like Discovery, and I didn't like Voyager, and Enterprise was okay. Deep Space Nine was pretty good, and it was coming on the heels, obviously, of Next Generation and had some crossover, which is probably why I liked it. But I haven't been able to just say, I've got to watch Star Trek this week until now. That series is awesome. I've got one flaw that I see in it that popped up in the last episode, and I'm thinking about recording a little 5-minute video. So maybe I'll drop that this week. So Ken, watch out for that video, and you'll know. I'll let you know my feelings on that new Star Trek, particularly that last episode. So if you guys don't have anything else, I think I need to get off here, and I think my drinks then got hot. Yep, I need to get me some water. So I really appreciate you guys stopping by. I love talking to you guys. Obviously, any of you guys that support my channel, keep watching my videos. Watch everything. Don't just watch the movie hunts. Watch the movie reviews. And there'll probably be less toy hunts and toy reviews on here going forward. But I will, anything that's related to something that's on television or in the movies. If it's a toy that I buy, you may see a video pop up here and there. And people always forget I'm a big wrestling fan. I'm not as much AEW as I am WWE. But hey, I do watch AEW every once in a while. So if it's anything wrestling related, you might see that pop up on here. That's why I'm pop culture, man. Anything that interests me is going to be on this channel, and hopefully it'll keep being an interest of you guys. Yep, keep on trucking. So yeah, I love you guys. I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast here in a second. So if you guys want to chat about anything else, hit it up on the community tab anytime. Pop up my phone. I've got my secondary device that's always got YouTube on and always with the notifications on. So they pop up on there anytime you guys make a comment. That's why I'm able to respond so quick. I always have that charged up laying on the side, and I look at it every couple hours. So if you guys, I'm always here. You can hit me up on Instagram, Jeffman316. You can hit me up on Twitter, and I'll talk to any of you guys that support my YouTube channel. So I really appreciate the support. I love you guys. And until the next time, This is Jeffman316, your pop culture reporter, signing out saying, you guys be safe out there.
I present this.